Prices on everything might be skyrocketing, but at least this is still one of the best bangs for your buck budget airplanes on the market. When it came out, I was super impressed with this plane. This is the Bigfoot, and I am still very impressed. It is a 5-channel airplane with flaps, and it has lights, so you kind of need a 6th channel to pull that off. There is a lot going on here on this airplane. Amazing spare part availability and support from an awesome mom and pop hobby shop here in the States, which that just doesn't happen anymore. I love being able to support these guys. Now, we're gonna fly this plane for you today on a 3S battery, and I think it's gonna blow your mind what this plane is capable of doing on a 3S battery. It is super fun, but also would make a nice trainer. So if you're looking for something to like transition up into intermediate mode, you can do it all on this airplane from start to finish. It's a blast to fly. Now, it's been a while since I've flown it, and it's been a long time since it's been on the channel, so I'm excited, and hopefully you guys are too. Remember, this plane and everything that we're using to get it in the air is linked in the description box below. It's still under $200, and if you use our link, you help support our channel and our family. Let's fly. Check out these control surfaces. There's a lot of movement. We've got flaps, look at the elevator, and then the rudder. There's just a lot of control surface authority on this airplane, which is why I like it. Let's take off. Now,
sorry, that was terrible falling.
Battery,
whoa,
which I think is crazy, and it has been a while since I've flown this, but it's a ridiculously capable airplane. And nothing that I'm doing is like weird setups in the radio. I fly with 0 expo. I'm not flying on like different flight mode switches or anything. And this airplane has just a nice old dumb tactic receiver in here. I'm flying on a tactic radio. In other words, you could do fly sky, fry sky, FR sky, you know, Tyrannus, whatever thing you're flying on. There's no flight stabilization on board with this airplane. And yeah, it's flying this smooth and does really smooth rolls like that, and snaps really well. This is a very fun airplane to fly, and I'm kind of bummed that I haven't had it out sooner than this. Knife edge is really well too. Right over the hay bale. Pretty cool, right?
Right.
I love this plane. I think it's called a hammerhead stall. Yeah. Basically, whatever kind of maneuver you want to do with this plane, it can handle it. You would think that it would need to fly 4S to be able to pull some of this stuff off, but flying a nice, cheap, old 3S 2200 milliamp battery, there's ample room in there for a bigger battery if you wanted to. But definitely keep it to 3S.
Look at that. Upside
yeah, I'm not
down.
sure how much I've flown this plane inverted, but my inverted confidence has gotten better. I don't know if the ability's gotten better, but the confidence is there at least. Let's see. Moments like these, I just wish I had a flight pattern, you know, like what should I do to impress everybody? I don't know.
Scrape the wing tip against the grass or something.
It's just a pretty plane and it's fun to fly. This is one of those that I get out when I just want to truly enjoy something. I feel like, see, some of these planes that I fly, I feel like the roll rate is off on them when I get them, or something just, you know, is lacking. This is truly one of the best, like, complete feeling airplanes I've ever flown. And especially for not being, I didn't have to trim it much when I got it. It's under $200, it's right under $200. It's so popular that it remains, it's probably on pre-order status right now, which is basically back order status. So if you are interested in this, and you should be, and you don't own one, which I think like thousands of our viewers have this airplane, you kind of gotta just order it. And I think they actually have a shipment of these coming in really soon, in a couple weeks or so. So I just thought this would be a good chance to get it out and show everybody how much fun it is again. It's super fun to fly. I mean, super fun.
How low can you go there? That's something fun you can do. Yeah.
Oh, Abby, I like this airplane a lot. I don't want to go any lower than what I am. which is pretty low for me if you guys know how I fly inverted. Oh, man. Like if I'm not doing...
Well, that's pretty good. For you, that's pretty good right there. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I just don't want to crash it. All right. How's that? Is that good?
I feel like after the camera's off, you're going to be like, why did you ask me to do that?
No, it's fine. And then let's not forget we have flap flight too, so let's go for full flaps and just get a nice little flyby. I'm full flaps right now, I just don't want to wingtip stall, which this plane is really good about not stalling. As I say that, it's gonna stall, but full flaps, let's get a nice slow flyby just to show you guys what it can do. Because it's a very good stall plane too. All right, there's 0 throttle. On asphalt, that's not bad. If I do say so myself. I like to drop this plane in kind of steep and then flare it for landings. Because with flaps on, I don't have any elevator mixed into this and it doesn't climb like crazy. So I'll show you guys. That was me, So 0 flaps, and I'm gonna hit my flaps at about, well, there's 0 throttle, there's flaps on. That's your climb rate, which isn't too bad, considering I have no elevator mixed in with that. See, like you can fly this low and pretty tight if you want to. You don't have to worry too much about stalling out because it has enough throttle punch to pull out of it. Pretty awesome airplane. Good flight time too on a 2200 milliamp. I mean, you can fly this easily for 12-15 minutes. But the way I'm flying it, you know, we'll probably get closer to like a 5 or 6 minute flight maybe. I don't know.
I think you're at 5 minutes now.
It's a really, really fun airplane. And yeah, you could install a Spectrum safe receiver if you wanted to get a little more beginner friendly if you felt better doing that. But honestly, this thing flies just perfectly. Perfect little airplane. I know you flew your Trojan yesterday, or a couple days ago on the channel. And that's a great airplane for having the bind and fly receiver already in it, because it's the same price as this. But this one you get the addition of the lights and flaps, and in my opinion, it has better flight characteristics than the Trojan. The Trojan is a warbird for sure. This one just, man, it just flies so good. Easy to put together, and as I said, if you do ever crash it, the cool thing about this shop is it's a mom and pop shop. And if you need support, you are likely going to get the owner on the phone if you call them. Like, don't abuse that, because the guy's working hard. But how cool is that? I mean, wouldn't it be cool if we saw
You're at 6
more
minutes.
companies like that in our industry? They adopted this online shopping to support their store, but also to support families like ours. So we get the word out, hey, look at this airplane. If you didn't know about this airplane until you saw it on our channel, then you can do us a favor by clicking the link to buy it. We make a couple bucks, yes, but it also helps keep the American hobby shop going, right?
Are you just gonna push it till it's done?
I got at least another minute, I know.
You said 5 to 6 minutes a minute ago.
You know what I should have done? I should have put in my LiPo alarm, but I'm just really comfortable with this airplane, so. This airplane needs to have some kind of awards. Let's go half flaps on this landing. And let's pull it in for landing.
What would you say, best value for the money? Like biggest plane for the money? Something like that. A little
fast. I want to get it landed a little closer. Yeah, for the size of airplane, under $200, if we're going to be in that like 150 to 220 price range, which is pretty common for this kind of an airplane, 150 would be cheap, bang good if you got lucky, you know, junk. This has got to be like best value airplane for the price. A little fast, but not too bad. Not too bad for like, it's a hard landing gear setup. There's no springs or shocks, and actually I think I need to tighten one of my wheels. But look at that bright light. This thing looks good at night too. I absolutely love this airplane. So I think I pretty well covered everything in the flight of this airplane. That's how confident I am in its ability, how happy I am with this airplane. I've had it for a long time now. This is still all the original. You know, I'm starting to lose a little bit of paint around the battery hatch here, but man, this thing flies good. My wheels are getting a little loose, but overall, it is just super awesome and always fun to fly. And I said that a beginner could learn to fly on this, and I stand by that. You really could if you wanted to. It's going to be one of the best bangs for your buck that you'll find out there. I mean, truly, especially if you're not risking buying overseas. You're buying this out of an American warehouse, an American dealer. Yeah, made in China, but we're just not there yet, right? So the product support and spare part availability is here in the States too. And for under 200 bucks, this is a rock and roll, awesome airplane. I'd like to ask all of our viewers too. Guys, we've had this on the channel for, you know, a good year or so, maybe longer now. Who has bought one? I know there are thousands of you watching that, or maybe hundreds at least, that have bought one of these. So let other people know in the comments, yeah, it's an awesome airplane for the money. And I'm guessing back when, this is gonna make people feel bad, but it was a little cheaper probably back when we first showed it on the channel, but this price increase hasn't gone up too much, so I'm pretty happy with that. Still worth, very much worth. If you compare this to everything else on the market, this is under 200 bucks. I think it's worth every penny. Now, if a beginner is going to pick this up to fly it, you got to pick up AMA first, okay? You're finding a nice airplane, you're going to learn to fly, and you'll make mistakes. We all do. I still make mistakes after hundreds, if not thousands, probably thousands of flights now. And I encourage you, the beginner and the intermediate and pro pilot, to purchase into something called AMA. It's the Academy of Model Aeronautics. It's a wonderful, wonderful program to help keep all of us safe. And by safe, I mean if you crash your airplane, they're basically an insurance program to step in and help cover the damages, not to your airplane, but to the thing or person, God forbid, that you hit. And we'll have a link in the description box below where you can learn a little bit more. But something that I actually spend a little bit of time myself in, you know, once or twice a week I leave a comment on posts, so maybe you'd like to hear a response from me, just Nate, not the TheRcSaylors, but Nate on Facebook in the AMA Facebook group. I'll link their Facebook group in the description box below too. It's a fairly small group, to be honest, for how big the program is. Handful of thousands of people.
But it's free for everybody.
Totally free, the Facebook group. So even if you're not an AMA member, maybe you can post a question there about something you have about model aviation or whatever and get an answer. It's a pretty well versed group of people and for the most part, very respectful. You know, it's Facebook, so. Beautiful airplane, flies great. I mean, truly everything that I would want in an airplane. It's awesome. You don't have to spend $500 to get it in the air. Look, I've got a couple old tactic radios that I tried to sell at a swap meet a couple weeks ago for 30 bucks and no one would buy them. And they're great radios that used to be over 100 bucks. So you can get your hands on a very good, awesome radio that I've used for like a decade now for 30 bucks secondhand and buy yourself a brand new airplane for $200 and a couple $15 batteries and you're flying. And you could even buy a $15 charger if you really, really wanted to and it'd get the job done. So this can get in the air for 250 bucks if you try. And even a new radio like a Fly Sky or FR Sky, one of those, they're really cheap new. So if you have to have new, you can get that cheap too. Well, for a successful flight and just really enjoying the more of a budget side of things, thank the big guy upstairs. All credit goes to him for just all the happiness, good and bad in our lives, and give credit where credit is due, so thank you. Also, massive thanks to our Patreon supporters, because without you guys, we wouldn't be so bold as to get in front of the camera and say things how they really are. And just so happens, this one is really awesome. That's why it's been on the channel so much and we've held on to it for so long. So do yourself a favor and pick one up, and thank you to our Patreon supporters. Well, I've got some really great news. We're back with one of my newfound favorite RC gliders on a budget. This thing is one of the biggest airplanes we own, especially at the price that it comes in at. And guys, this is one of the only gliders that I have that actually has flaps too, which is really awesome. And it's all the electronics are included. It literally clicks together. It's very easy to put together. And the best news about putting this on the channel again, other than just having some fun flying it today, is that this is now back in stock. So when we featured this on our channel, sometimes this happens with good stuff. It just happens. I don't know. After 9 years on YouTube and you've got like almost 100 million views or something, sometimes when a good thing shows up on the channel, it just sells out. I don't know. Well, this is a really good airplane by a really good company here in the States. And what was crazy was when we featured this on the channel, because it's so good and the price, after like 2 days, a day and a half, it just completely sold out. So they ordered a bunch more and they just got these in a few days ago, just in time for Christmas. So if you missed out and you want to pick one up, we'll have it linked in the description box below. That's it. Let's fly.
All right, we got some wind today. I'm on. Yep. Whoa, straight up. I went straight up. Wow. Yeah, it lifted like crazy.
Guys, the biggest difference in the maiden flight and this flight is that we have a ton of wind today. Easily a solid 12 to 15 miles an hour and gusting upwards, probably close to 20 miles an hour, especially higher up. So we're gonna see how the SCD-54 flies in wind. Oh, you know what? I thought it would do pretty well. We may not even touch the flaps, but I do want to. I want to kite it with those flaps. So we're not even, let's just climb it, because that's what this is kind of made to do. We have rudder and elevator, ailerons, and flaps. So there's full flaps, nose into the wind. Let's just see what we can do here. It's going to take a minute. I don't have my sunglasses today, so I am squinting a little bit to fly, but there we are, gliding as a kite into the wind. Look at that. Awesome. With shifting winds, it's a little bit challenging, but there we go. We're standing still. I'm giving it very little input, mainly just to keep that wing level, and then keeping the nose in the wind, using the rudder to steer it. With that, it's still 0 throttle this whole time. I'm maintaining my altitude with full flaps. Oh, did you see that little twist? That was a little push of wind. That's still 0 throttle, guys. We're moving forward with our full flaps on, still at 0 throttle. This is awesome, just to prove it to you. 0 throttle. Oh, I haven't steered a little bit. We're actually climbing some too with this. We're not dropping hardly at all. This is really awesome. I'm glad we brought this out in the wind today. Still 0 throttle. I'll tell you guys when I throttle, killing the flaps and throttled. So I just lost my altitude quickly and I needed to throttle out of that. So that's what happened. And that wasn't even like the best approach. I should have been a little bit higher when I did that. And we could have just, when you have a glider like this, you can fly it for an hour on one $20 battery. And that is what's so awesome about a plane like this. Now I have flaps up, they're off, and I'm dropping down over the runway, a foot off the runway.
Oh geez, you're right in front of me.
Yep. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want you guys to see that wheel on the bottom, right? Touch and pull back up and throttle. What gliders can you do that with? I love that this has a wheel on the bottom too. Actually, it's 2 wheels. It's one in the middle and then one back at the tail. So that was a little tricky in this wind, but you can do some really cool touch and goes, and that makes for nice, silky smooth landings. Now on our maiden flight, I think I did a little bit more maneuvers with this, a little bit of rolls, maybe some loops. In this wind, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Super high G-forces on that wing compared to on a calm day. So I don't know how much like crazy maneuvers I'll do, but I'll tell you what, we'll do what a glider is meant to do and just kind of climb it up, have a little bit of fun. It's very powerful. 0 throttle, full flaps again. Make sure that's what flap switch it was. And let's just kind of glide around a little bit. So remember, this is like, I think somewhere right around $200. I think it's under $250. Good price point for a massive RC plane with all the electronics already installed. You only need a receiver and a battery. Still 0 throttle, guys. Just steering it in the wind. Losing my altitude some on this pass. A little up elevator. Look at that. We're just right in one spot. Right in one spot. This is super fun. I know if you're watching, you might think, if you've never flown a plane before, dude, your airplane's just standing still. How's that fun? No, trust me. And I had to throttle up just a hair, guys, because I was dropping my altitude. So I'm like 10% throttle just to help maintain my altitude. Trust me, to try and like hold your airplane, there's throttle back on. To hold your airplane in one spot like that can actually be more fun than doing like 100-mile-an-hour pass, because it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Let's do a full throttle pass with the wind. Here's full throttle. Whoa. It's pretty quick. Now, it's no Crescendo on speed, but also the Crescendo doesn't have flaps or that nice wheel. And so this has more glider tendencies than the Crescendo does. The Crescendo has more high-speed, sporty kind of tendencies. I love them both. Absolutely love both of these airplanes. Both of them belong in your collection, but it kind of depends. You know, are you more of a tame, slow glider flyer, or do you have a need for speed in your life? Or, you know what, guys? That's my transmitter low battery. That's a real shame. Let's see if I can accept that. Okay, back, clear. It's not going to let that go off.
So you get for flying an old transmitter.
Well, yeah. These batteries lasted me all year, literally from January to November, so I can't complain. But we may just be landing because I don't want you guys to have to listen to that. So let's bring it in for a landing. But I guess this will just be a short flight and a short video. The point is to say this is an amazing airplane with everything installed. Can I make that quieter for you? Hide behind Abby. And
I lose you on this side.
Yeah?
You just disappear.
Well, I'm right over the runway now.
I see you.
Okay, get a nice zoom on that.
That's as zoomed as I can
and
get.
I'll just bring it in with no flaps because I want to have a little bit of speed to get it in closer. Sorry about this. That's my tactic radio saying, hey, your transmitter batteries are low, which it's good. You know, we don't want to push that. Your batteries in your radio die and you're going to lose your airplane. So I'm trying to throttle it in so I can get it close. There we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. A little bit not perfect, but they have these wingtip protectors. I'll show you. Well, sorry about that crazy beeping. That's my tactic radio, but that's the beauty of this airplane. I wanted to put the tactic receiver in there, flying on the tactic radio, because it's kind of a budget airplane. Flying on a budget setup. My receivers, back in the day, you know, young whippersnappers, when I bought those just a few years ago before the whole like inflation of everything went up, they're like 15 or 20 bucks for a receiver, and I'm flying on like a 7-year-old battery, maybe 8 years old, and that was probably 15 bucks then too. So you only need, at least you can, especially if you get it secondhand, throw in like $30 to $50 worth of electronics, and then you're getting this airplane in the air, plus your radio and a charger. But that's very standard on this type of airplane now. I love the folding prop on this. That really helps the efficiency of that glide. I know we only got a taste of that, but you guys can probably hear the wind and see it. My eyes are tearing. I know Abby's are. It's very cold today, but the wind just kind of helped keep us aloft with the addition of the use of the flaps, which is really cool on an airplane like this. The main wing and the tail just clicks into place. Now when I got mine, I did have a bit of a struggle on one side. I can't remember which side. I really had to force it in there. I said that in the maiden video though, and still you guys love this thing. And all the electronics, all the servos are already installed. It's a very easy assembly. I mean, it would have taken me 5 minutes if not for that one wing half just being a bit of a struggle. I really can't complain too much about that.
Did you show the wing skids? They're right.
That's right. So when we came in and my one wing came down before the other side, these little plastic nubs here, wing skids, are going to save your wing tips. And that's exactly what they're designed to do, very low profile.
Got one on the tail up there too.
That's right, and I said that there was a tail wheel, but I was wrong. It's a little skid. We actually have a wheel here and a wheel here, which makes for great smooth landings. Of course, this will land in grass, no problem too. Guys, I'm sorry for the shorter flight today, I really am, because I wanted to enjoy a much longer flight. I brought 2 batteries. Like I tend to bring, I'm probably going to fly this with 1 battery, because I could have flown for an hour if I wanted to on 1 battery for you guys, but then camera gets turned off, Abby sits in the car and gets nice and toasty warm, and I fly some more. I really enjoy flying, so I brought extra batteries, but unfortunately my radio's dead and I don't have extra AA's with me. Right by the door though, I keep AA's by the door.
Go figure.
Just in case, as a reminder. Nate, don't forget your batteries.
Put them in the car.
Well, it's been...
It's cold enough, you could store them in the car now.
It's been 10 or 11 months since I've had to replace those batteries. I just wasn't thinking about it, but that's pretty good, I think. But things happen in the hobby. You leave, you have every good intention to have everything you need to fly and fly safely and everything, but things happen that are very unpredictable, like your batteries dying in your radio, and then there goes your airplane crash. Luckily, this one has a very annoying alarm to tell us to come in and land, but some don't, and so that's why we fly with AMA, which is the Academy of Model Aeronautics. It's insurance for the RC pilot. Not for your plane, not for your $200 piece of foam, but in case your radio dies, you lose connection, and your plane crashes into someone's parked car, or somebody gets injured, God forbid, you've got AMA in your pocket that's where the Academy of Model Aeronautics steps in. Now, there's a very common misconception. A lot of people comment, and I say this maybe once a month or so, but I'm going to remind you guys, hopefully those of you that don't know are watching, remind your friends, you don't have to fly on an AMA sanctioned field or space. You can fly wherever you like as long as you're following their rules, their suggested rules and guidelines for having AMA. You're covered. So if you're flying at your local park, as long as you're following their rules and all that good stuff, which are very, very basic and easy to follow, you are covered. So make sure when you sign up for AMA that you ask questions, look into it for yourself. They've got people, humans here in the States that you can call and ask questions. They will answer those. If they don't know the answer, they'll find it for you. It's a great thing to have in your pocket when you're flying. I highly encourage it. If you're going to fly an airplane, spend a little bit more money and get the insurance. We'll have it linked in the description box below. But guys, very good news. We were informed that this was back in stock. Just an opportunity to jump in front of the camera and fly it again. It's one of the best gliders I've ever flown. Truly mean that. You know, it's not covered with lights like the FT Night Radiant, or it's not FT anymore, it's just the Night Radiant. And it doesn't fly 100 miles an hour like the Crescendo, but when you want a glider, this is just the cream of the crop. I mean, this is as good as I've ever flown, and even better. I love the wheels, I love the flaps. It's just awesome, and it's a really good price by a company based in the States. What more could you ask for? Flies on 3S batteries with an XT60 plug. Again, linked in the description box below, and that's very important because you'll get to the right product, but you're also helping to support our channel and our family. We're very proud of the family-friendly content that we put out on YouTube because, let's face it, there's not a lot of that anymore. So if that means something to you and you want to support what we do and you like this airplane and you're going to buy this airplane anyway, please click the link. It won't cost you a single extra penny, but we'll make a couple bucks a kickback, and that helps keep us going. So thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Also, a massive thanks to the big guy upstairs for giving us a beautiful November day. Now, yes, it's cold, but it's November. It's not that cold for November, and look at those pretty skies that we got to fly in today. So thank you, God, for giving us today and just enjoying life. Massive thanks to our Patreon supporters too, guys. We couldn't do our channel without you.
I don't think you even know what a snap roll looks like.
Oh man.
Here's my, you want to see my impression of Nate doing a snap roll?
Yes, I do.
I know what I'm doing.
Would you zero throttle? Oh no, panic. All you did was kill the throttle and then nose down hard.
This is the Aeros Pioneer. It is a beginner friendly, ready to fly, comes with a transmitter and a battery and a charger and the plane. Everything in the box you need to get this in the air. And Nate flew this for you guys a couple weeks ago, and we loved it so much, and you guys loved it so much, it sold out. Well, now they're back in stock, so I said, Nate, I flew this off camera that evening after you got to fly it for everybody, so now I want to fly it for everybody. So I'm just gonna throw this up in the air, have a pretty chill flight as the sun goes down today.
Nice, hand launch, good job. That was great.
Well, I took off in safe mode.
Not really safe.
It's been a while, well, sorry.
Yeah, I got you.
It's technically not safe. It's a stability mode.
I hear you though, I hear you.
Everybody hears me.
I know.
We all know.
You're on the wrong side of the camera. This is all messed up right now.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I almost fell over. I was just so disoriented. Good takeoff.
So right now I just have my throttle set on the left stick and I'm just flying around on the right stick.
She is super chill just flying
elevator and aileron. That's all I'm doing.
No.
That is the 1 minute timer. Every minute this thing beeps.
I think that's my one complaint about Arrows ready to fly planes.
Yeah, I don't
like the 1 minute beep. If they could do something about that, that would be sweet. But remember guys, this is a mom and pop shop. It is tiny little shop, and when you buy from them, you're literally supporting like a small, I said that really weird, literally supporting a small hobby shop that just so happens to have the ability to ship stuff to you.
Does this have rudder too, right?
Yes. I actually really like flying this.
Oh yeah, they're tight curves.
The rudder's insane on this thing. I knife edged with this,
that's
Abby.
Like barely any. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like I love flying this. I really do.
I don't know if I'll be doing it.
That's fine. I have a request if you don't care. I'd like to fly it at the end of the video.
Of course you would. You can't just let me fly, can you?
No, you can fly. You can get the whole flight.
Hog and a battery hog.
You're doing a good job flying it. This would be a great airplane for you to push your boundaries, you know, your comfort zone, because it's not super expensive. It's ready to fly. It has a brushless motor. It's very impressive. It's also beginner friendly.
Yeah.
So it's a good one to progress on. Very, very good one to progress on.
So with a plane like this, if you have the pilot close by, you can let them just move the right stick around while you have your hands on the controller and, you know, you're setting the throttle. So that's a really easy way to get somebody that is afraid to flying. Just get it up in the air a little high. You know, we're over a hill right now, so this would be perfect, and just let them play on the right stick and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's just perfect.
It's a very like stress-free airplane.
Yeah.
And it's very rare actually to see an airplane at this size with a brushless motor and all of the bells and whistles this has. So why don't you, you know, I always like pushing you and other people out of their comfort zone. Why don't you throw it out of the stability mode and really see what you can do? I'll bet you can do some loops and rolls and do some banks and just continue flying the whole flight without stability on.
Oh yeah?
But know that you have it there in case you need to panic.
I always feel like I need to panic.
You got this. It flies, I'm telling you guys, really, really good.
I really
You got a little wind. You got a little wind.
Like flying when I don't like when you do that. Stop it. I was having fun.
It's okay. All good. All good. You fly however you like.
Thank you.
I'm just happy you're flying. It's a good scale plane too.
I like being able to switch back and forth.
Okay.
So sue me.
Okay. You know what? And that's a really big topic of discussion in this hobby. Some people think that stability mode or safe mode has hindered the hobby's growth, right? I disagree. I think that you would not fly hardly at all, if ever, if not for stability mode on airplanes.
Yep.
And I think that a lot of people feel the same way. And there's a lot of people that I talked to in the comments section.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But that's why you had that switch to catch it. There's a lot of people out there that are just like you, Abby. And actually I use, you know, on my bigger airplanes, I use safe when it comes to landing and takeoffs. That was what, 3 loops?
I don't know.
It was good. Very impressive.
See, you said don't flip it out or back into stability mode.
But I do. That's even on landings.
What I didn't like. It's when you cross the line, Nate. You went too far with that record.
That's okay. I understand.
If you want to see Nate fly,
I do have a video out there of me flying it. But I'll tell you, I did a couple more flights of this off camera, and I feel like I've just gotten so much more comfortable with this airplane. And I wanted to kind of show off. Oh, that was nice. That was almost like a snap roll. Did you know that's what you were doing?
No, I did a loop and a roll. That's all I did.
Okay. It's a loop roll.
I don't think you even know what a snap roll looks like.
Oh, man.
Here's you want to see my impression of Nate doing a snap roll?
Yes, I do.
You know what I'm doing.
What did you zero throttle? Oh no, panic. All you did was kill the throttle. And then nose down hard.
I'll try again.
Do it again.
No, I don't know what I'm doing.
No. I'm able to track it still, so that's good. Okay, will you do this favor for me?
What?
You can keep it in your stability mode, but why don't you fly like, you know, 5 feet off the ground? Let's see some blades of grass in this video.
Oh
right?
Gosh.
And I'm talking about not. You're not gonna hurt.
Fun.
You are not gonna hurt this airplane.
You're like Toby.
No way, I'm not like Toby. No, I'm not Toby. There, that's perfect. Tree line. That's what we wanted to see, is tree line. You can just keep it right around there. That looks sweet.
Look at the moon.
I saw that. It was really cool. What do you guys think about this? Sun going down early. Bunch of nonsense.
Hate it.
Getting cold and everything. Why can't it just be in the mid 70s? Yes, I do. Nice moon shot. Just need to stay in the mid to upper 70s, maybe low 80s sometimes. No wind, hardly ever. always. And, you know, we never complain about the weather anymore. You would think that was your telemetry letting you know you have low battery, but it is just your 1 minute timer.
Flight time.
This I've always gotten.
With 2 batteries?
Yes. Well, no, I think it comes with 1.
Oh,
I picked up a second one.
Plane?
No.
You had 2 batteries.
I had a second one in there.
Okay. The battery is small, so it can't be that.
It is small, but it's 2S, and yeah, it's super cheap with a JST plug. I have gotten, what do we got, like 12-minute flight times on this? It's really long flight time for such a small airplane that's so capable. And, you know, Abby's doing a great job, but it'll fly inverted, knife edge, smooth loops and rolls. So there's a lot of progression to be had here. If I had to pick one of like 3 airplanes that I would recommend as a really good beginner airplane for like Christmas time, this would be one of them, easily. It's really fun to fly. I kind of am hard on the radio when it comes to the Bigfoot. I think you have a great airplane with a sub great, I don't know, it's just mediocre at best transmitter. But when I'm flying this airplane, it feels different. I feel like it's actually good for this airplane. So isn't that weird? It's the same exact radio. Now, you know, landing this is going to be kind of funky in this tall grass.
I just figured I would kamikaze it or something.
Oh, okay.
That's the plan right now. Oh, let's see how that goes, right? I'll kamikaze it right at you. You ready?
You're actually doing it?
Well, I wouldn't.
Okay, all right, I need to...
Their ability test.
Be ready. Oh my gosh. 0 throttle.
No, I wanted it to...
Good kamikaze.
If you want to get in this hobby and you don't want to break the bank, this is a perfect way to see if you're gonna like flying RC planes. Nate and I both have enjoyed our flights. Nate likes to push my buttons and push me a little bit, which I tried a few things. I tried snap rolls, which I really don't even know what I'm doing whatsoever. Should I try the knife edge? I actually understand the concept of a knife edge. But yeah, this is a great beginner plane and a great plane to like push yourself and push your skills on. I love it. I like that it's ready to fly. It's perfect for beginners. It's just a really good price, really good value here. And it'll be linked down in the description box below for you guys to check out. Well, for a gorgeous fall day, we should be getting some color, more color here in the next week or so. I want to thank God. It's so beautiful up here, and you know, you don't even like really see anything but hills, grass, trees, and hay up here. It's awesome. I love it up here. So for that, I want to thank God. I also want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon family members. You guys are awesome. You're the reason we're able to get out here and do so many videos for you guys every single week.
We're back today with the brightest red, most Christmas colored jet I own. This is not the BAE Hawk, it's the BAE Hawk. Oops. Now I know Christmas time or whatever holiday you're celebrating isn't really supposed to be focused on the things, okay? But I thought it might be fun to talk about the things that we want or maybe definitely are getting for Christmas in the comments below. So while I'm flying my new BAE Hawk, I'd like to hear from you guys and let us know in the comments what's one thing that you are definitely getting, wished you would get, or are hoping that'll be under your tree. Let's fly.
Woo! That was a little scary. What were you doing?
I could have thrown it a little harder, I guess. Hand launching is my enemy, but this is, see, the last time we flew this, it was a very windy day. And so now I get to show you guys, boom, hands free, boom, 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 boom. Got it. Might need to touch a trim, but pretty cool. This is a very calm day. We almost have no wind, and that kind of makes it nice out. Even in the winter when it's like, I don't know, mid-40s today or so, it just doesn't feel that bad because there's no wind, so it doesn't hurt as bad. What a great day to come out and fly this. And guys, if you really want to let us know something awesome in the comments, don't just tell us what are you hoping is under your tree or what do you want to get for Christmas. Let us know something nice you did for somebody else. Did you pay for the person in the fast food drive-thru and you didn't know them or anything? You know, you just left an extra 20 bucks for the person behind you, or Maybe you are like us in previous years and you have bought a lot for the giving tree or the angel tree, depending on what they call it wherever you're from. So let us know something awesome, positive, uplifting, or just an RC that you want to get for Christmas, or again, whatever holiday you're celebrating. We celebrate Christmas. Abby, I'm going to do a full throttle pass. Remember, this is a 3S battery. You would think it'd be 4S, but check it out. Here's full throttle. I think this thing is beautiful and flies extremely well. It'll fly on, I think they recommend a 1300 milliamp battery, but I have a 3S 2200 milliamp battery in here. Full throttle pass, safe is off, and let's go. Just climbs extremely well for a 3S airplane. And my favorite thing about this airplane and a few others by this company, which guys, this jet is linked in the description box below, US based warehouse customer service, small mom and pop shop. But my favorite thing about this particular airplane is the vector module. Okay, it's a flight stabilization module that comes pre-installed. All you do is plug in the wires like you normally would to your whatever receiver you have, and assign, in this case it's actually the 4th channel, but in many cases it's the 5th channel, to the 5th position on your receiver, and then just put that on a switch in your radio, and now you have stabilization. It's like safe. So watch, I'll just go upside down completely. Let's fly like inverted, and then I'll flip it, and it just, sorry about that direction, but it snapped us out of it. I'll do a better example of that.
Yeah, try again.
So right now I'm in stabilized mode or beginner mode, and now what I'll do is go turn that off. I'm going to roll upside down, hold it inverted, and then kick the switch on, and it just flips it right back over. That roll over to right side up was 100% the unit. I think it's called Vector. And I think it's getting better. I mean, in this, it's perfect. It's exactly what I would want in a stabilization system. And in my opinion, it's the easiest one to set up ever. Okay, I mean, we've seen these in other examples, and they're kind of hard to set up. But this one, you just plug it in and it works. It comes installed and it just works. I don't know how they made it so easy or why it's so easy, but that's my favorite thing about this. I still want to call this the BAE Hawk because I think that sounds cool.
You want to know a funny story, you guys? So like on a lot of our videos, I do the titles and description box, if you didn't know that. And we got a lot of comments saying it's BAE, not BAY. And Nate was like, Abby, you spelled it wrong in the title. And I was like, no, Nate, you said it wrong, my dear. It's BAE, not Bay. Yeah. So I had to even tell him. Pretty funny moment. It happens. You can't know everything.
No, and this is it's British, right? Isn't this a British jet?
That's why the tail looks the way it is.
Well, and they say this is the equivalent of like our Blue Angels.
It stands for like
British American
Aerospace Engineered. I don't know, something like that. Put it on the screen, Nate.
British Aerospace Engineer, something? Is that what you said?
I don't know, something like that.
Anyway, you know, tons of respect. No disrespect meant when we said that. But yeah, people say it's basically the equivalency of the American Blue Angels.
There's not many people who can fly any RC plane or jet that's handed to them, but Nate can.
Well, not any.
But there's a lot of people that know about every single aircraft ever, but they can't fly them.
Full throttle climb again there.
Good job, Nate.
Well, I appreciate the pat on the back there, but
if we were History Channel, you should be embarrassed.
Well, I'm not embarrassed. And no one made me feel bad.
I said you should be embarrassed if we were the History Channel, but we're not.
No one really made me feel bad. That's what I love about aviation people. Aviation people are generally like, hey, you know, just in case you didn't know, which, you know, awesome video, this is what it is. Now, if this was like a Traxxas monster truck, everyone would be like, die, man, die, with all kinds of explicits and you know, explicitives or whatever the word is, and telling me how much better they are than me and stuff. That's not the case with this. Many people have actually said the BAE Hawk group is better than the Blue Angels pilots. And the reason for that is because I guess Blue Angels have a pretty predictable air show, right? It's like always the same. Not that it's bad, it's amazing. But apparently these guys mix it up every year. So different performance every time
you're
you go
on
see
like
them.
6 minutes.
I probably should land fairly soon, but this is a 2200 milliamp battery in a very light airplane. So anyway, this has been a great discussion. Abby, really quickly, tell everybody what you want for Christmas. It doesn't have to be RC related.
Well, if you know me, you'll know I hate the gift giving aspect as an adult. I think gift giving is for children. You know, get your kids stuff, save your money, don't spend it on me. That's how I feel. But Nate made me pick something.
Well, we like to have something under the tree for you, yeah.
I picked a cricket. So we will see how that goes.
And
maybe
tell people
we'll
what
have
a cricket
some,
is really fast.
like the vinyl decal cutting thing. I really don't know, but I picked it out.
If it works out, we may have some cool like decals on some of our planes and stuff.
Sure.
And then, you know,
yeah,
every mug will have your name or my name on it.
What about you, Nate?
So you guys will think I'm crazy. I legit picked out an RC for Christmas, even though we live it and breathe it, and Abby thinks I'm absolutely nuts. She's like, just pick anything that's not RC, Nate. Like, come on. No, Abby, this really is what I love. I wouldn't have done this RC YouTube channel for 10 years if I didn't love RCs. So I picked out the DJI Mini SE, the special edition. So hopefully you guys actually will see that on the channel. Let's go.
Not the Mavic 3?
No, too expensive. Couldn't afford it. I'd have to sell my soul for that thing. That thing's like $3,000 or more. That is ridiculously expensive.
Are you landing?
So yeah, I landed.
You go.
I am going to bring it in and hopefully plop it down in the grass.
Where?
To our left.
Okay.
Okay, that's my goal. Battery is definitely getting low. Let's see if I can do it. You know what? I need to bring it in like toward us because that's not enough runway for me, I don't think. And I don't know. Abby and I, we try to do nice things pretty often. If we see someone down in the dumps, we, you know, throw them a little extra cash, or I do the drive-through thing sometimes. And not bad. Not bad for a pretty fast grass landing. That's like 10 feet away. Well, 15 feet away from us.
That was good.
Now guys, I'm going to show you all the goods under the canopy so you can see how easy this setup is. I bragged about it at the beginning of the flight because it really is awesome. So in case you're wondering what this ugly little plastic thing is here, I'm thinking about cutting that off because it's super ugly, because I could still take my canopy off just like that, but it's there as a little pull tab. So if you don't like that, you could easily just take that off, but some people like it, so it's on there. So I'm flying on a smart battery, actually, a 3S 2200 milliamp 30C. It's a low discharge rating, and I just have it pretty well shoved almost as far forward as it'll go. And then my IC3 connector plugs into an XT60 plug quite easily. I'm not going to tell you to do this to yours because I don't know if it's like supposed to, but I always do it. So that's a nice thing that I've been doing with my new smart batteries. And then I've been flying on this particularly because it's so easy to set up on a Tactic transmitter receiver setup. I really wish Tactic was still like a big deal, because it should be. It's just a really easy to use, that didn't happen, very reliable radio. I've almost never had any like brownouts on it or anything like that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but anyway, just plug in the see this little flight controller chip is what I was talking about, the little vector thing. It comes already installed, and all these things are plugged into it already, which I think is awesome. And then you just take the few, because this there's no rudder on this jet, it is just bank and yank, but there's elevator, ailerons, throttle, and then the fourth channel is your flight stabilization or vector safe type thing, and it just works really, really well.
Did you notice the planes on the like flag part? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool, isn't it?
I just noticed
I really like that. But check out the receiver, how I have it plugged in. You know, we're just 4 things are plugged in. You assign that little, they put sub PPM mode, that 5th channel, to a switch, and it just works. So bravo to them. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
I wish everybody's was like that.
I really do too. And I should have my receiver like glued in here or something, but what I've been doing, because these are so easy to set up, now most people wouldn't recommend this, but I've been saving money and I'm limited on these receivers. So between this one and I actually just got the T33, I think it's called, on the way, I'll just yank this receiver out of here and put it in the T33, I'm pretty sure that's what the name, and it'll work. Just turn it on and it works. So I don't have to buy another $25 receiver to throw in there. So this is linked in the description box below. It's absolutely awesome. We had a beautiful day to fly. There's no wind, and for that, I've got to be grateful to God just getting us out here flying and sharing this opportunity with you guys. And a massive thanks to our Patreon supporters. Hopefully you guys picked up something from this video. What do you think?
It's a pretty plane.
It'll fly slow too if you want. Look at it go though. All that with the rudder. All that.
That's crazy.
Look at that. What do you think?
Do that again.
Just gonna keep doing it. Now I have to use a little bit of aileron input there to keep it level. But that's pretty sweet. You don't see that every day, do you? I'm holding in my hands the best, biggest, cheap plane. Hold on. Can you see it all now?
There you go.
It's in the shop.
Yeah.
This plane is so big that I have to hold it a special way just so it'll be in the shop. This is the Husky. Guys, it's been a while since it's been on the channel, but this is one of my favorite all-time planes to fly. The worst thing about it is how big it is. I have to take a second vehicle that's a little bit bigger up to the airport, our truck, just so that it'll fit in the car. Now I could take the wing off, but who likes doing that? So I just take a whole nother vehicle, right? This is an amazing, amazing plane. And I think for a new limited time, there is a coupon code that you can use to save a few more bucks on this. We've been flying some big warbirds on the channel and they are amazing, like that FW190. That sucker's a $500 airplane. This is almost half the price and it is bigger, okay? You don't get all that amazing smart technology, but that stuff is new. We've been flying planes like this for hundreds of years, some of you. Yeah, I know. There's some of you guys out there that have been flying since rocks could fly. And that's how we're gonna fly this plane. Just a good old dumb receiver on a good old dumb transmitter on a good old dumb battery. And it's gonna save us a whole lot of money. So we're gonna put this in the air and have some fun. I just wanna show you guys how much fun this Husky airplane is. And take it as just, I know you won't believe me, a lot of you guys that are newer watching, but this airplane, being the fact that it's bigger, is easier to fly than pretty much all airplanes that are smaller than it. The bigger they are, the easier they are to fly. And you're not gonna find a plane bigger than this for any cheaper. I promise you that. This thing's amazing. Before we fly though, I gotta say a big thanks to today's sponsor. This is Leading Edge Supplements Severe Clear. It's an energy supplement designed by a full-scale pilot for RC pilots and other full-scale pilots. They truly are an amazing company, very small startup company, and they're reaching out to the TheRcSaylors to let you guys know about them. So if you want to save some money on this order for yourself or for someone else as a gift, we have an exclusive promo code to save 15% on this. Help support a startup company in the States and help the TheRcSaylors keep the lights on and the channel going. Check them out, linked in the description box below. Let's go fly. Did I mention how good this plane looks too? This is a really awesome airplane. I think though the last time I flew it was off of grass. So I'm just gonna do a takeoff with no flaps or anything.
It just went up.
Oh, I was actually holding down a little bit too.
Wow.
Like I was trying to keep it down some. This is a very, very fun, huge airplane. Let's just start it off with a roll here. Kind of a slow roll because I got a gust of wind. The second I took off,
of course,
I could feel that wind pick up over that little hill. So the best part about this plane is the size. Now it flies just as good as any Tundra style plane I've ever flown. So I'm a huge fan, or at least I was a huge fan of the Hobby King Tundra. And now that was a little too
fly over the moon, Nathan.
Okay, I'll go. Now I would say this is so much cooler than the Hobby King Tundra. You want to do a loop around the moon?
Yeah, loop around the moon. Slightly off.
Oh, well for me it was, I mean it'll do anything you want. I almost did a flat spin. I was trying to get into a knife edge. I love flying this airplane. Now the first time we flew it on the channel was a true maiden and it was so much fun. I had to keep it even though it takes up the same amount of space as like maybe there. That was kind of crazy.
I was wondering what you were doing.
It'll just do so much crazy stuff. Like it shouldn't do that. It has so much rudder authority and elevator authority. I've never tried to snap roll this. You think I should try it?
Go for it.
There's full throttle. It's a 4S battery too. Nice little snap roll, just a little baby thing. What you have to look out for on this airplane is a wingtip stall. We've seen it happen before. Abby's had that happen when she flew it off camera. Our buddy Gary had a little bit of a wingtip stall. You just got to keep your airspeed up. You know what, I haven't even trimmed this either. I'm just flying it. I can fly planes without trimming them and not really think much about it, but then I look at it and I realize that probably doesn't look so great. It's kind of flying a little squirrely. I trimmed up the elevator and that is so much better, so much better. Look how smooth that is. Oh, the wind. I mean, you do.
Sure, blame it on the wind. That's what everybody
gain
does.
a lot with like AS3X and stuff, and you could put a Spectrum receiver in this with AS3X and safe. So that's an option for you. There we go. I just love flying this, and on this blue sky, this bright white wing and that red looks so good. What do you think?
It's a pretty plane.
It'll fly slow too if you want it. So you can fly this super scale if you want to. A lot of guys like to fly scale, just take nice, wide, easy turns, keep it super docile. One could even consider this a trainer if you really wanted to, because it's so big, it's easy to see. You're never going to get disoriented with this. But then if you want to, you can throttle up and climb, 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 climb.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
you scared me.
I can just do a lot on this airplane that I can't with others. It has so much authority for a plane like this. It really shouldn't have so much authority. Look at that. You can just use that rudder to do everything. It is super fun. It'll fly inverted too, which you guys know me. I don't love flying inverted, but because it's so big, I just, it's easier to focus. But there's so much elevator authority, I just barely touch it and it wants to do an outside loop and pull out of it like that. I can do, what is this, the
Cuban 8.
Cuban 8, thank you. That's what that was very sloppy. We'll do
see,
the half one.
You made me remember the name and I completely lost the plane.
Oh, that's fine. Isn't that so cool?
Oh yeah.
Just big airplanes, easier to see, easier to film. They look good in the air. I love the Husky. Love it. This plane's so big, I bet you we could land it in the grass up here. The grass is usually pretty tall. I might try that. Oh, I hear it echoing on the building. It sounds so good. It goes together so easy too. Not a drop of glue. So I'm a huge fan of not having to put glue on airplanes to put them together. Oh man, I love flying this. I should have flown this so much sooner on the channel. Whoa.
Oh my god! I'm just gonna take a minute.
No, keep recording. Keep recording.
Have a heart attack real quick. Oh my gosh!
We're good. I'm just enjoying flying it.
I think I get more scared than you.
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh my gosh!
I like flying this thing with power. It's nice. It's a very nice airplane. Get lower and lower, and then we can just rock it up because it's a 4S airplane. I think this probably could fly on a 3S battery if you just wanted to putz it around, but it really needs that 4S to pull out of a stall if you happen to get into a stall. If you guys notice, the longer I fly this, the smoother all the movements get. It just takes a minute for me to kind of get it, you know, get the feel for it again. It has been a while since I've flown it because it is so big. Look at it go though. All that with the rudder. All that.
That was crazy.
Look at that. What do you think?
Do that again.
I'm just gonna keep doing it. Now I have to use a little bit of aileron input there to keep it level. But that's pretty sweet. You don't see that every day, do you? We can call that a donut, I guess. I was gonna do a roll, but I decided to not.
I think you're at
that was like
you're at
the
like
best.
6 minutes or so.
That was a powered flat spin. I don't know what that's called, but it was really cool. Okay, let's try to bring it in for a landing. We'll turn our flaps on and let's just give it a couple approaches because I have never landed this on asphalt. I don't know how bouncy it's going to be. I want to throttle through that turn so we don't wingtip stall.
Do a couple approaches, Nate. You've been rushing landings lately.
No wind, so I feel really good about this as long as we don't stall it. Half flaps. Oh my gosh, there we go. You know what? asphalt's just going to do that to my airplanes, I think. So I'm going to accept
big
that.
ones.
Yeah, and call that a win. This airplane is absolutely amazing. I love the size of it. The color is just so bright in the sky. And look at that authority. Look at that rudder authority. That's why we were able to do what we were doing in the air. And watch this elevator authority. Look at this. On a plane like this. Isn't that insane? Look at those ailerons. This is just a head-turning airplane. You know, when I got it out of the car, the couple guys that were up here were just drooling. They wanted to come up to it and check it out. That's what this airplane is. And it's cheap for the size. So you may have noticed the wing flapping like a bird in that video. I did that for a reason. I wanted to put it through its paces and see a durability.
You did.
No, bad call on my part. There are screws that go in these wing struts here. So the wing struts,
angle it for me a little bit.
see that? They come out.
Yeah.
And when I was flying, these functional wing struts actually came out. I forgot to put these screws in the bottom. From my buddy Gary pointed that out, and that's kind of a sneak peek as to what's coming to the channel. Okay, very cool. You guys are going to check that out. So I actually have those screws, but if you want to, you can take these out of the bottom here where you would use pontoons. So you can use the same screws, they're the same size. I might just for today take them out so I can put that in there. When I was flying, putting it through its paces, I noticed the wing folding a little bit, but I thought maybe I'm just flying it faster than I did when I was at the airfield because my confidence is higher with this airplane now. I know what it's capable of, but no, these actually came out. They're supposed to stay in there. They were both out like this when I landed it. So whoops. But that should let you guys know how good of a plane this is, even if you forget a couple flights, like without those being
Imagine how good it could have flown me.
Would have been even better. And you're going to get to see this plane again very soon on our channel. So
subscribe, make sure notifications are turned on.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, if I were you guys, if you are thinking about picking one of these up, you probably should, because the way stuff works right now with stock, these are in stock, and I think they've got like maybe 100 of them in stock from what I've been told. And the last time we did a video on this, they had like 200 in stock and they sold out in about a day, because you just can't beat this. And who knows how long it'll be before they get more of them in stock. Now they have part availability for this and stuff, but the airplane itself, they just got it back in stock, which is one reason you're seeing it back in front of the camera again today. And it's probably going to sell out. So I would highly encourage you, if you're on the fence in any way, shape, or form, just pick one up. And just, if you got extra screws left over, there's a reason they go in the airplane. I should have known. They go in the airplane. So it's linked in the description box below. What a beautiful plane, what a beautiful flight, and a beautiful day to be flying. And for that, I thank the big guy upstairs. A massive thanks to our Patreon supporters and our sponsor currently. Just a huge thanks to all you guys for helping keep the channel going, keeping the lights on, and all the videos that we put out there are because really truly of our Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much. We'll have our maiden flight of this Husky video popping up right about now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you there.
Bye.